Hey you awesome people out there, this is your host Rohit and welcome back again to yet another video on this channel. So in this video we'll talk about fears, which has been one of my favorite topics throughout my life. Now what do I mean by favorite topics is basically I've had a really great relationship with fears. Now let me tell you how. So there are so many fears that I had throughout my life. Fear of judgment, fear of failing, fear of what other people will say, and there are so many fears. It was basically fear of everything, fear of anything and everything, and this has led me to never ever explore myself into anything. So I'll share about one of my experiences that I had, which kind of started as to where that fear of what people will say or what others will think started. So it was the year 2004 or 5. If I'm not wrong, 2005 it was the year. So that time I was in fifth grade. I was in 5th grade. My class teacher asked me as to Rohit, tomorrow you'll have to speak pledge in front of the entire school. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. I can do that because I've been seeing other people performing on the stages, and that used to fascinate me. And I had never got the chance to speak on the stage, obviously in the school assembly. So what happened was that day I came back when my class teacher asked me, and I'm super excited. I'm just learning, I'm remembering, I'm just claiming all that was there in the pledge. I'm like, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. This is when it started. And the next day I went to school. I'm like fully prepared. I'm confident. I can do it. And the class teacher, Rohit, are you prepared? Can we do it? Yes, I can do it. I was super excited about it. Then what happened? I went on the stage, and after seeing so many people in front of my eyes, I'm like, dude, you can't do it. You literally can't do it. And that got me scared. And after seeing that thing, after experiencing that feeling inside my heart, I intentionally went back on the stage, on the back side of where the group of people was standing. And after that, when the head of the school asked me as to pledge position, right, he invited me to come in front and speak. What happened after that was I just got numb. I'm standing in the back. People in front of me are asking, Rohit, it's your turn. Rohit, you have to go. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to go. So I went in front and I did the same position. I'm like, and I got blank because there are so many people in front of me. I got blank. And the person in my back, he said, Rohit, say India is my country. I'm like, India is my country and all Indians are blank. This is when the vice principal of the school, who was standing on the stage, said to me, you don't even know the pledge. How dare you come on the stage? How dare you come on the stage? And being a fifth grade kid, I listened to it. And this is when he said the words which kind of completely shattered me, I'll say. So what she mentioned was, people like you don't deserve to be in the school. People like you who are from villages don't deserve to be in the stage, don't deserve to be on the stage. And after that, she slapped me on my face in front of the entire school. And that was the day when my confidence that I had, whatever that was, being a 5th grade kid, completely went to zero. I fall down. my confidence fell down. And this is when, after I went back to my classrooms, what happened was, again, I had very limited number of people that time, but they also started to judge me. I told you can't even speak the pledge in front of the school on the stage. And this is when the number keep on reducing throughout. And this is when I decided it's better that I should not go on the stage. And this was the moment when I started to have great relationship with fears. Fear of specifically performing on stages, talking to people, expressing my thoughts, my views, my opinions, and expressing myself. And this was the event which led me to be a completely shy introvert, a person who would never speak to anyone for the next 8 years of my life. And what happened after 8 years was something which was the beginning of me being more vulnerable, me facing those fears. Now I have to share what happened. I'm not really worried about the length, because again, as I can see, it's already 6 minutes and 45 seconds in this video. So I'll just continue. So what happened after 8 years was, I was in 11th grade. Not 11th, but yeah, after 7 years, I'll say. 6 to 7, I'm not calculating that. I was in 11th grade, and this is when I met a teacher of mine who was a chemistry teacher, obviously. And that kind of gave me that confidence, that faith that yes, I can do it. So we had to prepare, we had to give a farewell party to our seniors who were in 12th grade. And this is when I was kind of being that person who was kind of average in studies, but yeah, I was more of a representative kind of person. So this is when this teacher came to me and he said, Rohit, I have got my responsibility as to we have to prepare the team, like we have to prepare everything, because we'll be kind of giving farewell to our seniors. I'm like, okay, yeah, we will do it. And then he said, what do you think? Who will host the farewell? Like, that's a good question, but I don't know. I can't do it. At least that I know. I'm like, why are you saying so? Like, why are you saying so that you can't do it? I'm like, but yeah, I just can't do it. I have never done that. And he's like, if you're not done that, it's a good time to start. Good time to explore. And I really can't do it. I'm like, why? What's behind this thing that you can't do it? And then I shared the same instance that I had 6-7 years ago. And he's like, Rohit, you're doing it, and just tell me, if not you, then who? Kind of simple statement. If not you, then who? And I had no name that time that I could speak. And after saying these words, if not you, then who? I had no answer. And he said, you will do it. And I don't know how you'll do it. You have to do it. And he left the room, left the office. And now I was kind of there for next 1 or 2 minutes in the same room, thinking as to what he just said. If not you, then who? And you'll do it. Now I'm kind of figuring out as to how, because again, that experience that I had 6-7 years ago was dominating in my head that time. I was thinking, okay, Rohit, this has happened, and this is what can happen with you if you go on the stage and if you just do it. So I kind of having those feelings. After having that thing, I kind of started preparing. Watching YouTube videos as to how to host a farewell party, or how to do anchoring, how to host events, and kind of I was just consuming the content, consuming the confidence which a person should have. Luckily, I was kind of coordinating everything that time. And this is when the day came, finally, the farewell day. Luckily that morning what happened, that there was this girl who said, sir, I can also host. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I got someone who can host the party. Like, I don't have to do it. And after that, I was kind of happy at the same time. I'm like, okay, I don't have to do it. It's okay completely. I don't have to do it again. I don't have to face it. But again, I also had a performance wherein I have to tell jokes in front of the people. After that, they invited me to, now you will listen jokes and Rohit will perform some jokes in front of you. I'm like, okay, that's my turn. It's my turn. Let's do it. Now I came back to the stage. Now luckily what happened was, this time I was having a podium. I was having a podium in front of me, right? Now if you don't understand podium, basically a kind of lecture stand of wooden lecture stand, in which I was sitting, like I was standing. My legs were shivering. I was completely shivering, but the good thing was the people in front was not able to see me because I was I was behind the podium. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I started, because I had a script as to, okay, this is what happened. And people started laughing on my jokes. I'm like, oh, you are doing good. This kind of boosted my confidence a little after my first joke. Then the second joke, then the third joke. And after 4 or 5 jokes, I'm like, okay, nothing is happening. You can do it. And this is when things started to happen. I did it. That day, what shifted for me was that you also need someone who can tell you. If not you, then who? I want to invite you. If you have that fear, okay, what people will say as to, or if you have something inside you, if you have that voice inside you which wants to come out and share your message to the world, I want to invite you. The message that you are having, if you would not share that, then who will share that? Ask that question to yourself. Because we all need that one person who can ask those questions to us. Because we ourselves, and see, fear is nothing, basically a feeling, and it's just in our head. It is a thought, basically. And eventually when we kind of face it, we would be able to overcome it. Until unless we face it, we won't be able to overcome that fear. So I want to invite you. What are those fears which you're kind of still holding on with you? What are some of the fears? Speaking in front of 10 people, speaking in front of 100 people, speaking on stage, speaking to a girl. Yeah, that's also a fear. I had that for a long period of time in my life. Speaking to strangers, obviously, yeah. And see, now let me funnel down as to the fears. If you are thinking that you'll fail, if you have the fear of failure, I want to tell you that you're not having the fear of failure. You're having the fear of what people will say to you when you fail. Think about it. Now I want you to ask yourself, is the fear that you are having when you're telling yourself I have a fear of failure, is it the same fear of failure, or is it the fear of what people will say when you fail? Because most of our fears revolve around that fear only. What people will say, fear of judgment, which we call. Now let's come to the base part, right? The root cause as to what people will say, that fear of judgment, how to overcome that fear. The only answer to that question is let them judge. Let them judge. Yes, if you're doing something, they will judge you. If you don't do something, they will judge you. If you fail, they will judge you. If you succeed, they will judge you. Ask yourself, does that judgment really matters to you? They would not bring food on your table. You will bring, your family will bring their food on your table. So whatever that you're thinking of doing, just do it. Don't hold on to that fear that you're having. Don't hold on to that fear. Initially, when you will attempt to face that fear, obviously there will be some hesitation, some fears. Okay, Rohit, I heard you, I hear you, but I'm still holding on to that fear. But again, you have to take that first step. Whether it's going live on Instagram, Facebook, whether it's making that first video, making that interview call, talking to a girl, talking to a friend, talking to a stranger, going on stage, talking to a teacher, whatever that fear is, just do it. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Make sure that you share your learnings, share your experience, or share your fears. What is your relationship with fears in the comment section below? Yeah, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Till then, wish you all the very best, stay blessed and stay awesome.